I'm gonna be straight with you here. You got the part.
Thank you.
You got the part. I'd like to introduce you to our newest hire. And then I walk in. Sorry, I'm late. Hello and welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast where we highlight and discuss new series each week. But today, we are back again with more Bleach, which means another episode of some more Dankai. Which also means that today, my name is Josh Pendulum Michaels, and I am joined by...
Lil baby Booyakuya Mehgan Perrine.
Okay.
You had to start with your first name, and then you do the middle.
Right,
and then
you want to try again?
My name is Mehgan, little baby Booyakuya Perrine.
I like it.
Bukakia.
Okay.
Sorry.
All
right
right.
out of the first round.
Right out of the gate, dude. Chill. I haven't even started yet. I haven't even got through the housekeeping stuff yet. Relax.
Sorry.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of our Dankai series. Today, we are going to also be covering two arcs once again. The past arc and the decisive battle of Katakura arc. This is going to be chapters 315.1 through 341. Before we get started, before we get into some general thoughts and our highlighted comment of today's episode, I just wanted to say that we are only 3 episodes. The way we plan to finish out the series or finish out the series up until the 1,000-year Blood War arc, we are only 3 Dankai episodes away from that moment, away from hitting that point.
Wow.
What a journey. It feels like it's kind of gone by kind of fast.
Yeah. I mean, compared to other things that we've read, like Berserk felt like such a long time. I mean, obviously, I don't know if we were doing that every week. Were we doing that every week for a while?
Yeah.
Or was that split up?
Maybe every other at most, but I can't remember exactly. It did feel like it was every week at a certain point. But
yeah. I think once we had like a better I mean, this was a long time ago. But doing this every other week, it has felt like it's been going by pretty quickly. And, you know, it's a good amount of volumes. It's just crazy that if we were going to like, when we do end Bleach and we start reading something else, how quick that'll go by if it's only like, 7 volumes. Because we're reading like a good amount of volumes per sitting in Bleach, the past 2 episodes, or this episode and the one previously.
And for me personally, like, not to take away from Bleach at all, but I feel like with some of these other series that we've done, everything feels so much more dense and takes me so much longer to read. I don't know if it's because I read this before a long time ago or what, but I just feel like this is so much easier to get through. It's so much more of a faster read. I feel like I can read it way faster than I can read some of the other things that we've covered. But, I just have to say that it's been an incredible journey. It's been a wild ride, and it's been really interesting. I think.
I bet for you, because you had read this before, you've watched this before. Like me going in kind of blind, it's definitely a different experience.
Yeah. So we're gonna finish these last 3 after today's episode. There are going to be 3 more, and we're gonna finish strong. This episode included. But yeah, it's been super interesting going back and revisiting all of this and it becoming fresh in my mind again. How did you feel about these 2 arcs? Because the past arc might be, in my opinion, some of the best Bleach that we've read up until this point.
I agree. I 100% agree.
No question asked.
Honestly,
no questions
I
asked.
don't know if I don't know if it'll get better.
I mean,
that's a quote. Mm-hmm. Like this is like peak Bleach. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't.
For me, it felt that way too.
It's crazy.
I understand that we have to look at Bleach for what it is, and there are lots of things that I absolutely love about this series, and which makes me so excited for the anime because I do feel like a series like Bleach is a series that, if adapted properly, is elevated. The source material is elevated by an anime, by animation, especially with all of these fights and the beautiful choreography and aesthetic and moves and, power-ups. Like, I feel like, paired with like epic music and, brilliant VA performances, like this is and has the potential to be peak anime, peak shonen anime.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like it translates or it hits different when you're reading it, which is why the past arc was so. I don't know how the past arc would have translated. I didn't watch the anime in anime, but would have or did translate. But for me, like reading it, this is what I wish I was reading from chapter 1. This is what I live for. This is what I love. And it might have not been what I loved as a younger reader.
Exactly.
Or as much as I liked the fights. But this was, like you said, peak. This was the best thing we've read so far, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree. Everything, before we saw people connected in different ways and like internal struggles. But this just like hit different. I mean, seeing all of these characters previously, a lot of world building, a lot of lore building with these characters, which was awesome to see. Like, and it really gave perspective of how long, they've been around or even known each other. Their history goes way, way back. I mean, we see Aizen, he's already like 100 years old. I mean, all of these captains are crazy, like crazy. And I would love to see more of that. I would love to see more time, with these characters and see, like, I don't know, with it, like, not day to day, but for this case, like, this was way more interesting to me. This reveal of Aizen to the rest of the captains, well, basically just the Vizards.
So Shinji too.
Shinji. I just found that way more enjoyable than the bigger reveal.
Like the reveal
of the Soul Society arc.
The first time we saw it, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, you kind of saw it coming. You're like, damn, Aizen, but it's like he's always been like in the shadows under everyone's radar.
He's been in the shadows for a long time.
Yeah, so
a long time.
Yeah, it was just so awesome. And all, the history of the Vizards, seeing them all be assistant captains or, main captains, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I loved absolutely every single panel, every single page, every single reveal, even the reveal of Urahara taking Hiyori to the Maggots Nest, and then them seeing like Mayuri, like every all the Vizards, the holification, like everything about it, and it had some action in it too, but like everything about this like was so good, like it was so good. I also really enjoyed, I think, taking a little bit of time away from Ichigo and I guess the gang.
Don't say that.
Yeah, there might be people who are upset by that or don't understand that. It's my opinion, but my opinion is that, first of all, I've always, and I guess especially have realized this even more so upon reread, but that, the supporting cast, they get their moments. But
they get their fights.
I think, and there's moments within fights. And that's something that Naruto's always done really well, as well, which has been able to progress its narrative through fights.
Yes.
Which I also want to say, before I get too ahead of myself, I guess, that I think that a lot of these fights that we got in the decisive battle of Katakura, like, did that also probably better than a lot of the fights so far have, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree. There's some standout fights for sure that have happened thus far, but it didn't feel as whole as like, it's not like every fight or every other fight. Like this arc, I think really, showed that well of the progression with the characters. And
yeah, because we had a beautiful, like, not beautiful, but I mean, we had a really, intense moment with Ikaku and Iba, I believe his name is. And him lecturing Ikaku for losing his fight or more so like how he lost his fight. We're also getting to understand more these companies and their beliefs. Like, this is what I really liked about every single fight, is that it shined a light on what each separate company believed fighting is supposed to be.
Yeah.
and battle is supposed to be. And I just feel like we hadn't really got that before. I mean, we with Kenpachi's group, like, we kind of understand that they use brute force and strength, and they don't rely on keto or any of these other things. But to see everybody else's belief or their choice of battle and how they view battle, I just found this like really refreshing and like kind of much needed. And I didn't mind being away from Ichigo and the gang for so long. First of all, I say and the gang, but I do wish that the gang got more moments. Like Ishida and Soul Society had some great moments. Chad has had a couple cool, like really cool moments, but I feel like they're really brief moments in Hueco Mundo. Orihime and obviously Ruki and Renji, like they all have their like moments. But I just feel like nobody has a moment or as much time as like Ichigo. Obviously, he's the main character.
Yeah.
Or some other even captains get. So I do wish that they got a little more time and attention. But I found myself enjoying everything that was happening with this group of characters so much that when it would cut back to Ichigo and Ulquiorra for like a second,
I would be excited.
No, when it would cut back to them, I wasn't excited. I was like,
oh, you're like, not
I was
again.
like, cut back to the other guys.
Oh.
I really
was excited because I wasn't, again, we were taking a break from them. We weren't seeing them. So when it cut back to them, I was like, okay. And then it would cut back to all the characters and be like, damn, what's going on? What's happening over there?
Yeah, I like every time I was like, no, I wasn't, like, we weren't done with them. Go back to them. I want to see more of them. I do think that by the time where we leave off here, we're gonna get back to that Ichigo Ulquiorra like final showdown, and I'll be ready for it then, and excited about it then. But in the midst of everything else that was happening here, I was like, I just want to be here. I don't need to check in on Ichigo and the gang to see how they're handling everything, because I'm just very, very satisfied with this group of characters like doing what they're doing. Yeah, I really did like this part a lot. And even though, this is just what Bleach is, and you either love it about Bleach or you hate it about Bleach. Bleach is just like everybody getting their own fight, But at least I felt like these fights, first of all, these fights didn't have, at least this like chunk of fights, didn't have too many like transformations where it's like, here's my second form. Here's my third form. Here's my ultimate form. Here's my second ultimate form. Here's my third ultimate form. There were a couple transformations, but they weren't given as much like weight or time. Like if they did happen, they just kind of happened and things kept moving.
And they were cool. I mean, there's some really cool ones. I mean, what's his name? Frickin' Ion.
Yeah, which one was he?
The Chimera Parka, the left arm thing. I was like, even they're scared of it. Like that was really, really cool transformation. Like one of the best, I think.
Yeah. We didn't get a lot of that. And like I said, there wasn't too much time spent on it. If it did happen, I don't know. I just felt like not everybody won. Like back to the Ikaku moment. Like I just felt like there was so much more like pushing the narrative forward and like informing us more on these companies and their characters more than we've seen before. And I really, really liked this chunk. Like,
me too.
A lot.
I mean, I really genuinely liked the captains too. So it was nice to see them like do their thing again.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I also just, I guess the other thing I wanted to say is that like, I want to go back and watch this in the anime too, but the fights themselves, like on top of, like I said, like, not everybody having like not everybody like constantly like one-upping each other. But they just felt like they were so like perfectly, like we were kind of bouncing around so much. And a lot of them were like, they made their point, and like whatever the point of the battle was, like it made that point. Like we didn't have to spend like chapters upon chapters on a single fight. It was like bouncing around and getting all of these points and styles of battle across. Like it just moved. But I do think that the past arc was, still, like I said, some of the best Bleach I've ever read.
Yeah, to this point. And like I said like my opinion for sure. This is the best Bleach I've ever read. Going forward, like I hope there's more like lore building stuff like that, or like I don't know. I wouldn't want to say like flashbacks, but it was just so cool to see these characters in their past, because like still we don't really know. We didn't really know a lot about Urahara and his situation. We got it, much later on in Bleach, but I hope that we can maybe get something like that again.
Yeah, we got it much later on, but it was so satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we got it, it didn't feel like some afterthought thing that was just inserted in to allow us to care more about some of these assistant captains and the Vizard, or to tie in the Vizards to everything. Like as a throwaway, it seemed like this was definitely the plan when they were introduced. This was definitely Kubo's vision with even creating them, and it was a satisfying reveal. It all made sense. Even with Urahara, like everything fit so perfectly and so well and answered so many questions, and then like a good reveal does, I think even begs more questions.
Yeah.
And so, this might be some of the best. I don't know if it's the moment, if it's the day, if it's the time, if it's everything else we've been reading at the moment, but this was some really solid Bleach. And I think whatever happens next is going to be the conclusion of this like huge. I mean, even Soul Society was, building towards the reveal of Aizen, and then, everything that's happened after in Hueco Mundo has all been, even though there's like multiple sub arcs within this. I mean, if you want to do it kind of like One Piece does it almost feels like this would be considered a saga in the sense that, like, even back in Soul Society, Aizen was the villain, the antagonist. He still is. His plan is still coming to fruition. But I think at the end of the next arc, which is a behemoth, and we're splitting into 2 episodes, after that final arc in those 2 episodes, that's going to be, this thing is going to conclude.
What thing's going to conclude? Don't spoil it.
Well, no, I'm not going to spoil it, but I mean, like, there will be a conclusion to all of this.
Okay.
Which is also like kind of crazy to think about too. And then we get sort of like the next
stage, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of fun stuff to talk about this episode. But before we do, we should get to our highlighted comment of the day, which I perused the comment section for and landed on a comment from Musomania.
Musomania.
27.
Love Musomania.
27.
2027.
Who says...
Might be confusing with Musomania.
Yeah, it could be what about Musomania 26? Who says, I loved this arc as a kid because young boy want to see fights, brain. But while I still like it, it's for different reasons. This was on our previous episode. The Hueco Mundo, I guess kind of part 2, Arrancar versus Shinigami. I like it I still like it. It's for different reasons. For me, most of the fights are kind of a mixed bag. Some are nice and cool for the characters. Others drag and just kind of exist to make the late arrival captains look cool. But overall, still good. Though not the peak of Bleach for me. But I will say, shout outs to the Spanish guitarist going ham throughout this whole adventure. LOL. Yeah, we got to go back and hear some of that música. So shout out Musomania 27. Thank you so much for the comment. Now, and I agree too, by the way, with that. I mean, it was a mixed bag. Like we talked about it in the last episode.
Yeah.
But I agree for the most part with what they're saying.
Oh yeah, same. I mean, again, you read this before, like watched some episodes, consumed it. Like I had never consumed it because it was like so far into the shonen genre. And my tastes have changed over the years, and like what I am like comfortable, the amount of like, the fights and stuff, which is like not bad at all. But it is definitely like a mixed bag, like you said. I mean, it is like,
yeah,
this, I would much rather have this, the past arc and the Vizard. I forget what the arc name is called.
Oh, that we read a couple episodes back. Yeah, that was really cool too.
Yeah,
that was really cool too because it was just such an interesting concept expanded on, and like a new group, obviously, and a really cool new group that with characters that I immediately connected with.
Yeah, and I would like that. That is what I love about Bleach.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like badass, and the fights are like super sick. But like this really resonates with me more. And this is like the main reason why I like it so much. And like Rukia and Ichigo, like the first couple of volumes of Bleach, I really like.
Yeah.
But nothing I don't like it, but it is just like different. It is like mixed, like I can do this is okay,
And I think that's why even a lot of fans of Bleach really feel the way that they feel about it because it does kind of have something for everybody, but just how often does it have that thing that you like, or does it lean too much on another thing that you might not vibe with? I mean, I think it is a mixed bag at times. That's a takeaway from it. It's a series that I love, and like I've said many times before, it's a series that's near and dear to my heart. But if I'm being honest about my feelings and how I feel about it, especially upon what I've found really interesting upon this reread is how it can really it really keeps me coming in and out. Like there are arcs and characters and moments that I'm really overly invested in, mixed with fights and interactions between characters that are really cool, but I don't always care about, or definitely don't care as much about as I do some of these other moments. But that's a hard thing to do. I also understand that as someone who's never written a manga before, but have read many, I understand that and can only imagine that that's a hard thing to do, to consistently, please everybody. You can't do that.
Yeah.
It's just not possible.
Yeah.
But let's start going through it beat by beat. Where we begin is by turning back the pendulum. And where this past arc opens is we get to see the relationship between Shinji and Aizen, which from the jump, mind blowing. That Shinji number one was a captain number one.
Shinji has long hair.
Shinji has long hair.
Craziest reveal yet.
This manga cover too. I think it's I think it's 35.
36.
36. It's so awesome. It's him with his back turned to us, and it's just long, beautiful hair flowing. I almost bought it.
I mean, the volume kind of symbolizes, how Aizen was always behind him, and it wasn't really Aizen. It was someone else the whole time. So it really foreshadows what is going to happen in this arc.
And, kind of Shinji turning his back on Soul Society.
Turning his back on Aizen because he never trusted him to begin with. He never gave him a chance to show him any different. I mean, he probably wouldn't have, but it's all symbolism here. That's what we really have to take away.
It really is, Mehgan. This reveal too that Shinji had long hair, number one, like you said, but also that he was a captain. Huge reveal.
Yeah, he was literally the captain. For the fifth.
Yeah,
the fifth company,
and that Aizen was his vice captain. That was crazy.
Crazy.
And there's a really cool moment where we're getting to see Shinji as a captain, and how he is as a captain is very much how he is as a Vizard, which is just kind of go with the flow. Everything's kind of a drag, but
I would argue that he is the captain of the Vizards.
Oh yeah, sure. So
he's much like he is, as a captain for them.
Yeah.
As he is to.
And Shinji is one of my favorite characters in all.
You love him.
I do.
Yeah,
I
he's
really
cool.
do.
He's really chill.
When people talk about Grimjaw being the coolest character in Bleach, I'm like, oh, what about my guy Shinji?
Yeah.
Shinji is so sick. And if I had to pick between Shinji and Grimjaw, I'd choose Shinji every time. Every time.
Yeah. It depends on what we're talking about.
Okay, what if we're talking about as characters?
Characters.
What if we're talking about as characters?
Yeah, Shinji.
What if we're talking about hair?
Grimjaw.
Really? Okay. Well, what about long hair? Like, what if we're talking about long hair, Shinji? Would you still pick Grimjaw?
Shinji.
Okay, so specifically, okay, getting a little confused now. Okay, what if we're talking about style? Swagger.
Grimjaw.
Okay. And what if we're talking about hotness?
Grimjaw.
That was fast. That was a fast. You thought so long about everything else. Had that ready to go.
I like this game.
Yeah, I bet you do. You freak.
I am not a freak.
You're not a freak.
Kubo just needs to fucking chill.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
There's another freaking character that was all bricked up in this. I was like, chill.
Bricked up?
He was bricked up.
Which character was bricked up?
The one in like I don't know what it's called. He had like underwear. He was the one that was like, oh, I'm beautiful.
Oh, that character was a little bricked up, yeah.
A little?
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
Bold
Mehgan,
Central.
if I'm being 100% honest with you, I'm not looking at the crotchal region when I'm reading
It was
Bleach.
so prevalent.
You're like, you didn't see it? Like, you didn't notice the way it fell in every panel? To which side it layeth in every panel? Why, no, Mehgan, I didn't.
It's not like it was something that you could only see if you were actually looking at it. He was like, this fool was like shirtless, and he was like, ah.
The themes, the technique are what kept me interested, not the cock.
Oh!
Why?
I didn't expect you to say it.
What a crazy reaction. Oh my God. Holy shit, everything's falling. Everything's falling.
Okay.
But they're getting ready for a ceremony. Shinji and Aizen are getting ready for a ceremony. Shinji's got a little jazz on. Got to play a little jazz.
Yeah, I think there was somewhere at the end of it said like jazz wasn't even invented yet. So like how is he listening to jazz? And he's like, huh? And he's like a little drawing of Shinji.
I love when mangaka do that.
Yeah.
They're like, who cares? Like, who cares?
He would listen to jazz.
Yeah, it's
He would like
about
jazz.
it's more about like getting a sense for the character than like historical accuracy.
Yeah.
And bulge, I guess.
Yeah.
It's more about that too. But this was really crazy. They're getting ready for a ceremony. What ceremony? We find out very shortly. As they're going to this ceremony, they see Hiyori and Love, who greet them. Shinji and Hiyori still kind of have that same contentious relationship that they have as Vizards, that we've known them to have as Vizards. And, they're kind of casually throwing around some other really important information to the timeline of Bleach. Casually throwing around that there's a new Kenpachi.
So yeah, Kenpachi's like a passed down name.
Yeah, we learned that a long time ago.
Did we? Maybe I just forgot. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's like a new Kenpachi, and they're like, this was Kenpachi's fault for letting Kenpachi win. I'm like, huh?
Yeah. You're like, huh?
Oh.
Oh, wow. But yeah, we learned that I think in Soul Society.
Okay, so we know that's Kenny for sure then.
Yeah. This is our Kenpachi, our Kenny.
Our Kenpachi, yeah.
And then we see Ukitake and Kyoraku show up and talk about being the only captains who have been there over 100 years, but are forgetting to also mention Unohana. This is crazy too, because we saw them in Soul Society and they've always had such a really cool relationship with each other.
Yeah.
But also with Yamato as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that they're some of the oldest captains. If they were some of the oldest captains at this point, then they're even older.
I know.
Where we're at.
Yeah.
And after that, we find out that there was a 12th company captain whose name is, who we haven't met yet, but whose
Jurishiro?
name is, no.
Oh, wait, no, that's Urahara.
Ukitake. Yeah, Ukitake.
Wait.
Urahara.
Oh, I was reading 13th. I'm talking about the 13th captain, not the 12th.
We also find out that there was a 12th captain that we haven't met yet, named Kirio Hikifune.
Which I think is a woman.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Who was promoted to the Royal Guard, a.k.a. Zero Company.
And when Aizen heard that, you go, Royal Guard.
Bro, it's Aizen's curious ass that keeps asking all these damn questions.
Yeah, he goes, what? Royal Guard. And he was like, his eyes were rolling back in his head. He's like, Royal Guard. He's like chill.
They think this fool's just like studious, but he's like a weasel, bro.
No, I'm telling you, if he didn't have glasses, they would be like, why are you asking so many questions?
You know what's crazy?
Why are you asking so many questions? Why you want to know?
Mehgan, you are so right. Like, if that fool just didn't have glasses, they'd be like, bro, mind your fucking business. But because he has glasses and is carrying around books and scrolls and shit.
Yeah. He's like, it's fine. He has a curious mind. He has an open mind. He wants to learn. He wants the knowledge. But if he didn't have glasses, they'd be like, why are you so nosy? Why are you so chismoso? Like, chill.
Yeah,
like, calm down.
They'd be like, mind your, like, stay in your own lane, assistant captain.
Yeah, literally.
This is captain's shit right now.
Yeah. You don't need to know all the details. Like,
yeah, and then he puts on glasses and they're like, oh, he's just trying to learn.
Yeah.
He's just a curious mind.
Yeah. He's documenting this. Like, he's just learning. Right. He's growing. We found the secret to Bleach.
Mehgan, you knocked it out of the park with that one. That's absolutely true.
Because no one asks questions. No one asks questions why he's asking so many questions. No one asks questions on why he's so... And the glasses help with the awkwardness, too.
Yeah, because he could just do the little thing where he slides up the bridge of his nose.
He's like, oh, nothing. And they're like, oh, it's just Aizen.
He's like, he's so freaking quirky, dude.
Yeah, but if he was like the Aizen we know now, the hot Aizen?
Bro, if it was hot Aizen poking around, like doing what he's doing, like he would have been arrested. He would have been arrested and none of this shit wouldn't have ever happened. Aizen's, most powerful weapon isn't his hypnotic Zanpakuto.
Mm-mm.
It's his glasses. It's his glasses. That's what his Zanpakuto really is. Like, everybody awakens their Zanpakuto and his are glasses. And they're like, damn. I never saw through it.
Yeah.
Mehgan, you're really cracking the code.
Mm-hmm.
So we find out basically in that interaction that there is something higher, seemingly higher, than a captain of any of the 12 companies, and that's being a part of the Royal Guard. Now, we've heard about the Royal Guard because of the key that Aizen's trying to recreate, that he's even going to Katakura to make, getting to the, like, royal family, and we know that they, like, the reveal of their existence was already pretty shocking, but it would then, if they exist, make sense that they would also need Royal Guards. This is, like, what I would assume to be of the highest honor, and you would have to be one of the most powerful people to even be offered this position.
Mm-hmm.
So even though we haven't met her yet, we know that this is probably a pretty powerful person. Then they are all waiting there for this new captain to show up. The doors open, and we see who that new captain is. It is none other than Urahara.
Oh, sorry, I'm late.
Yeah. Yeah. Urahara, first of all, would not talk like that ever.
He seemed like that a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah. He would never sound like that. But there is an alternate reality out
where
there
he could.
Where someone else got their hands on the rights to the dub and they,
So
and
how would you do it? How would you do it? He's like, oh, sorry, I'm late.
Like, how would I do it if I was like auditioning for the role?
Yeah, like Josh Michaels for Urahara, take one.
First of all, thank you guys for having me. This is such an honor.
Oh yeah, no problem. Whenever you feel ready, just start.
Yeah. I just really want to say I'm really very grateful.
Thank you so much. We just have limited time, so if you just want to run through it really quick,
sure.
then we can get through it.
I'm getting right to it. I respect your time, and I respect what you guys do here. And I just want to say I love all the dubs you guys do. All of the dubs you guys do are great, and I respect it.
Which one's your favorite?
All of it. I like the dub you guys did of the. I like that. Remember that dub? I like that. You guys did Boruto, right? You guys did Boruto.
We didn't actually do Boruto.
Oh, okay.
No. But we can start. Do you want to start now?
I'll start.
Okay.
I'll start. Hey, sorry I'm late. Too low?
A little too low.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
There's a middle ground.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
Too nasally.
And he's like shaking it. He's like scratching his head.
He's like, oh, sorry I'm late.
I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't trying to add any nasal to that. That's just how I speak. So.
Oh, thank you so much for coming today.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
And scene.
Rude ass. I say that on the way out. They're like, this guy's got balls. Give him the part. Yeah. And I score it.
And I score it like a freaking chicken.
Where are all these like chicken things coming from? Score it like a chicken. What does that even mean?
Like when you score the meat?
I guess, Megan. I didn't know you were a freaking chef.
Moving on.
Okay. Urahara shows up as the new captain of the 12th on Yoruichi's recommendation. Someone else said that they were that they were thrown off by the way we pronounce it. Been pronouncing her name that way since I was a kid.
Doesn't mean it's right.
It doesn't mean
it's right. I'm not gonna. That's such a crazy thing to say. I've been saying that my whole life. That's not how. I'm not gonna change it now. It's too late for me now.
I mean, number one, I'm not gonna change it. Number one.
That's crazy.
And number two, I wasn't saying that. I wasn't saying that because I was implying that I wasn't gonna change the way I say it. Number one, I'm not, but that's not why I said that.
Wow.
I just said that it's just the way I've always said it because
it's boomer activity.
It's not boomer activity, you goofy ass.
Boomer activity, boy.
I was saying that because
first of all,
that's how I heard it.
You're nothing but a trash.
That's how I heard it when I would watch the anime. That's how I heard it.
Yorichi. Is it Yorichi or you say yeah? Anyway,
Yorichi. Anyway,
she said this is the guy you want.
Yeah, on his recommendation, and he is going to be Hiyori is going to be his vice captain or
she's
assistant
not happy.
captain.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's not happy,
and she's not happy about that because she misses her captain.
She misses her captain, my captain.
Mm-hmm.
Captain more like her mommy, like.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's what she said. She's like a mom to her. But Aizen, I mean, immediately gets the vibes from Urahara, like, oh, this guy's gonna be a problem for me.
He's like,
this guy's gonna be something's up with this guy.
Because Urahara didn't come in there wearing glasses. If Urahara came in there wearing glasses, Aizen would have been like, another nerd.
Yeah. He would have been like,
yeah.
Can't be two.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he would have been less threatened because he would have been like, this guy couldn't do anything even if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Can't freaking see this guy. My glasses are fake. I'm Aizen. That's what he would say in his own head. Yeah.
My glasses are fake. I'm Aizen.
My glasses are fake. I'm Aizen. Got the part. Voicing Urahara and Aizen in the dub. Thank you. Scene. But
killed an audition.
Killed it. This is my tape. This is my reel. I'm cutting this up and sending it to them. Yeah, this is my reel. So yeah, he already doesn't like it very much. But this is cool too to see that Urahara had this like big of a relationship or this much of a relationship with not only Shinji being a captain and Urahara being a captain, but then having that camaraderie in a sense as captains, but also that Hiyori was his assistant captain. Like that's nothing. And he was her assistant captain for 9 years. And
that's a lot.
And yeah, he got pretty attached to her and grew to care for her. That's just another crazy reveal.
Like his first, I believe his first assistant captain ever.
Only assistant captain ever.
Yeah.
So
sorry, I heard a noise over there.
Yeah, it's like, what are you looking at?
It's our silent producer.
Freaking me out.
Sorry.
Then that's when Urahara tries his best to introduce himself to everybody. He already doesn't like him.
Carrie's like, shut up, and then she like hits him in the balls.
Yeah,
and then she's like, what is he wearing? He's wearing a cup. Like what's he wearing on that road? He got cupped.
Urahara's kind of like sitting on the edge of like I don't know, not a balcony, not a porch, but he's sitting down, kind of looking out into the landscape.
It's kind of like a porch a little bit.
Yeah, sitting, looking over the landscape, and Shinji decides to come by and drop some captain knowledge on him.
He's kind of being a little rude.
I don't think he's being rude. But why do you think he's being rude? Shinji's my guy. I don't think he's being rude.
Because Shinji was just saying, I
think he's being straight.
He is being straight. There is a comment, though, I didn't write it down, but he kind of, slights him a little bit, and he's like, interesting.
I think he's being straight, and I think he's being forward, and I think that it's better than being sneaky.
Yeah, he said, if you don't, people, if you're not, a good captain, no one will follow you. That's just, who you are, or, that's, whatever. And then he's like, okay.
Well, the way he said it was, don't try so hard to, ingratiate yourself to people. be yourself.
He said, you don't seem like the type to be able to do that.
Yeah, he's like, be yourself. And if people don't follow
Integrate.
you, then that means you're not cut out for this job. But be yourself. I thought that was
It was just
really profound.
it was Urahara's reaction. I think that made me be like,
Well, because he said, like, you don't look like the type to ingratiate yourself.
ingratiate?
Yeah, ingratiate.
I thought it was integrate.
I'm pretty confident on this one. I was recently proved to be absolutely wrong about something else recently, so
Usually are though. That's why it's so crazy how we just like keep doing this game.
Pardon my lack of confidence.
And we keep doing this game.
It's not a game, Mehgan.
And we keep running on this mouse wheel.
It's not a game. What we do here is serious business, not a game. Maybe you show up to play a game. I show up to win. No, I think it was ingratiate, but he says, you're not the type to do that. You don't seem like the type to do that. And I think he's also commenting on the fact that, he's not buying this little act that Urahara is kind of doing. It's like, oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah, because he is playing an act.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. So after that moment happens, Shinji kind of walks off into the distance. And this was one of the coolest panels I've ever seen in my life. He's like, and Aizen, don't think I don't know you're watching. And he kind of like drags his hand and like rips open.
See, like, there's so many signs.
Mm-hmm.
Aizen's a sneaky little bitch. I mean, like, he's always been.
Yes.
And even Shinji knew that. Like, why is he the only one to see through this man's facade? Like,
but couldn't quite see all the way through it.
Or didn't want to see all the way through it.
Okay. Not that he didn't want to, maybe, but that he never allowed himself to get close enough to even,
uncover it.
Yeah, or even to like have a decent chance at uncovering it. But a really cool moment, and that's when Shinji drops a line here that he will say again later, as he's meeting his demise, if you will, where Aizen's like, "How long have you noticed?" This is aggressive. This is such a Kubo line too. He's like, how long have you known I was following you? And he's like, since you were in your mother's womb. And he says that again later. And that's when Aizen's like, you fool.
You fool.
You fool.
And he's like, how am I fool? And it's like Shinji, he did, right?
What? What'd he do? Mehgan. What'd he do?
He hung out with Aizen's mom.
Oh, you're saying Shinji fucked Aizen's mom.
Yeah.
And that's why he said that.
Yeah. The first time he might have meant like since your mother's womb, but the second time he was like, since I fucked your mom.
Right. I could see that. Mehgan. I think you're really uncovering. You're really you like prepared and went like you overachieved.
I come to win.
Okay, you said that's so aggressive, dude. Like I felt the energy from you when you said it, and it hit me. It hit me like like one of Ichigo's like hollow Getsu, whatever it is called. I forget. So many moves, so many captains, so many characters, so little time. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Volume 1. Getsu Tensho. Something like that.
Gets you.
Get these hands right now, Mehgan, if you don't get back on track. Jesus Christ. Where was I? This is when Urahara takes Hiyori to the Maggots Nest to visit a special someone.
Nasty fucking place. The Maggots Nest, like.
But I think this is also interesting too, because here we learn that basically people don't get to stop being captains, assistant captains, soul reapers at all.
I mean, that makes sense because it's like what if like one of the, it's kind of like with the boys, it's like these ex supers, like they're just because they're retired from not being in like the what is it called, the 7,
right,
they aren't like not powerful anymore, like they can wreak havoc. Like these people have the ability to do that. That's why if you want to quit you can, but we have to keep track of you. There's no way we're just gonna let you run free.
It makes sense, but it still is kind of like crazy.
Well, even Yuri is like, damn.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, you think that, again, Soul Society keeps showing itself to be not the best. I mean, not the best society, I guess. I mean, they're really some of the things that they do and how they do those things aren't the most like morally, I think, morally great ways to do these things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we find out that they're there to visit one person in particular, and I didn't expect it to be who it ended up being, which was none other than Mayuri, looking a lot different, looking a lot less modified.
A lot less modified. Still the eyes are scary. He got those bug eyes, you know.
Yeah, and he's got his little thing on, his little, you know, but he's got hair.
Yeah.
Like it was, I actually really liked this version of him. I like seeing all these versions of all of these characters, actually, like the Urahara, the Shinji with long hair, Mayuri, when we get to see Byakuya later, like everybody, Yoruichi with the short hair. Like it was sick. They were sick. But he goes to him and asks him if he'll work under him, under Urahara, to help with the creation of the research and development department. And I like how he knows how to talk to Mayuri too. Mayuri's like, why would I work under you just to get out of here? No, like my life, I'm cool with being in here. And Urahara's like, yeah, you'll be second in command though, which doesn't necessarily mean working under me. You should think of it more like if I die, it'll be all yours. And he's like,
perfect.
Yeah.
I finally got my plan along.
This is Mehgan Perrine, everybody.
Hi.
Auditioning today for the role of Mayuri.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, well, go right ahead.
Oh, fine. My plan went along.
Interesting. You really opened strong. Are you familiar? Because you didn't really let me know anything about, you know, how familiar you are with like what we do here at this company. So I don't know anything about you. So why should I feel?
Well, I like to go into a company with like my own, you know, how I feel about it. Like personally, I don't like to get any other one's like opinion because then it clouds my own vision of like what I want to offer you guys.
Right. I get that. And look, I'm going to be straight with you. What is it? It says here, Mehgan Perrine. I'm going to be straight with you here. You crushed it and you got the part.
Thank you.
You got the part. I'd like to introduce you to our newest hire. And then I walk in, sorry, I'm late. And scene.
And scene. You guys are getting a lot of acting today. You guys are getting a lot of improv today. I hope you're happy.
This is a master class,
Oh,
actually.
shit. Yeah.
Wow. Woo. It's getting hot up in here. But this is where we get a little cute moment with Byakuya and Yoruichi. And, you know, she's just kind of toying with him and
like she does.
And it's just fun. It's just cute.
And again, seeing just like the age progression with these characters. I mean, it's like, you know, they've been around for a long time. Like, you know, seeing Byakuya grow up, like it's crazy.
Yeah. How long she's been there.
Yeah.
And yeah, like just how they age, like you said, in general is interesting because it does seem like they hit an age where they just kind of stop aging.
Yeah.
But poor Yamato, either he's been alive forever or he just got the shit into the stick. And he uses a stick to walk around. And that's what his Zanpakuto is.
Because he's old.
Because he's old, yeah. Then we get to see Ukitake and Rukia's, I think it was her former assistant captain, I forget his name.
Black-haired Ichigo.
Yes, black-haired Ichigo who died, you know, and they're sitting around kind of talking about him becoming an assistant captain and him saying like, I don't really want to do that.
No one wants to do that. Like a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm fine where I'm at.
Yeah, even Ikaku's like, I just want to.
I mean, it bit him in the ass hard.
Yeah, I mean, he could have.
It's like literally like your like life is at danger. Like there's like these are big stakes here. It's not like you're just like shooting the shit with a little hollow and you're like, yeah, of course I'm not going to use my freaking I'm not
Bankai,
gonna, a Bankai like right here, right now. Like, it'd be stupid, but like this is like, bro.
This is like the fate of the world.
Yeah, like come on.
But
like even if you do good here without revealing your Bankai, like maybe they'll promote you then. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I guess what I was gonna say is like he could just say no, but they might just
they might like imprison him.
They might say like, yeah, like we need captains,
and if you
especially
don't
after Tosin and Aizen and
they're trying to fill those spots
left. And either you do it or consider this. Well, if you don't accept, we'll consider this your resignation, and you'll go to the Maggots Nest.
Yeah,
you filthy bald maggot. You
filthy bald eyeshadow wearing maggot.
Yeah,
yeah.
What a look, by the way, king.
Yeah, he's king.
But they're talking about that, and they're talking about a new child prodigy. And for whatever reason, I guess I got my timelines mixed up, but I thought they were talking about someone else. Like, I thought for a second, my timelines are all jacked up. But again, like, I'm not really also clear on how these people age. Okay. So for a second, I was like, are they talking about Hitsugaya? I imagine it cuts to like a panel of like a little baby, like in a Shinigami robe, and he's like a captain, and he's leading a whole, troop or whatever. But they're talking about Gin. And he looks probably scarier as a child.
He does.
Than he does as a grown man.
He got the bobblehead thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like big old head, skinny old body.
Yeah, he looked like some sort of Damien child.
Yeah.
Some sort of Omen child.
Yeah.
And we see that Aizen's been manipulating him, and this is interesting too, because this has to be around the time that, because him and Matsumoto came into the Soul Reaper Academy, I guess, around the same time, I would assume. So Aizen saw this kid as a prodigy and like latched onto him real quick and started, manipulating him or using him right out of the gate.
Yeah, which is like, very telling of his character and who he is today. Like that's basically like his fucking dad. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's been with him a long time. Then we get to 9 years later. 9 years later, and there's some strange deaths.
Strange things are happening on me.
Around strange things happening around Soul Society.
Around these
parts. And they send a team out to investigate them. We also get to see a young
Shuhei?
Yes. I forget. I think that when I typed this, for whatever reason, my autocorrect changed the spelling of his name, which be happening sometimes. But either way, his last name for sure is Kensei. We get to see him, and we get to see that he, a younger, I think Kensei, and
is Hisagi?
Hisagi. It changed it to, my autocorrect changed it to
Shuhei. Yeah, Shuhei Hisagi.
Changed it to Husagi.
And
Husagi?
Kensei.
Usagi. Hisagi.
Kensei is the one that was the original with
it's
the 69.
Vizard. Yes.
No, Kensei's the one with the
He's a Vizard.
Yeah, 69 on his chest.
Yeah. He had 69 on his chest. And bless you. We're gonna keep the camera on you, Mehgan.
Don't.
Oh, your sneeze went away.
I'm gonna get you.
That's an act of aggression, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna keep the camera on you in my most vulnerable moments.
You act like a sneeze is a vulnerable moment. If I would have like
your heart stops.
Burst
your
it
heart
in.
stops. Your heart stops. Your heart stops when you sneeze.
If I would have burst it in while you were like, experiencing massive diarrhea.
You're probably like, dang, everyone, Magellan Mehgan, like, let's play into it, ha ha ha. Like, we always like to make fun of Mehgan when she goes to the bathroom. Like, she always she's like shitting her brains out all the time.
You're the one shitting all the time.
I literally go pee like a normal human being.
I go pee too, Mehgan, and I actually have a small bladder. I when you do that, dude, it's so crazy. It's so patronizing. Like these are things that like these are tactics that I hope, if we do have any like younger viewers, I hope that I fear that you're teaching them these like tactics and these like things to use like in their everyday life against their friends and family and their loved ones.
Younger viewers, so like
what?
Like younger than you?
I mean, I guess technically everybody younger than me from my perspective would be a younger viewer. So that would mean what then? 50 and under?
Yeah.
Our young audience?
Yeah.
The 40-year-olds?
Oh, thank you so much for coming in to audition for
oh, God.
a blabbering
what?
Jack.
That's... Dude, I don't even have the... I hit a point and I hit a wall where, I don't even have the energy to fight anymore. You know? I feel like all my, spirit energy has left my body. And I feel... I'm
just kidding. I'm joking. We're doing the audition thing. I thought it'd be funny.
It's funny. It doesn't hit when I do it. I didn't do it at the right time. I'll keep it in mind.
Okay.
I'll keep it in my utility belt. So, all right, Megan, we got the giggles again, and we get the giggles. We get the giggles a lot on these episodes, but these episodes are a lot of fun to do.
They really are. We're having fun, you guys.
So yeah, sorry. We see a young Hisage and a young, I guess technically a younger Kensei, but he is the Vizard with the 69 on his chest, and we see him look up at him, and that is probably why he has the 69 on his face.
Yeah, it was the beginning of the 69 trend.
Beginning of the 69 trend. Now, where does that come from? I don't know. Why 69? I don't know. Who knows? Of all the numbers,
there's actually
Kubo,
the reason.
There's a reason. Can we look that up? I just think
So, a part of Kensei Muragama's name means 6. Kensei is from the 9th division, hence 69. Shuhei is heavily admired by Kensei ever since he saved him from the hollow in Rukongai. So he adopted the 69 tattoo.
But I'm just saying, you're in charge of what division this man is in, and you're sure you can you can reverse engineer it to make sense. But Kubo, you're the creator. You just sat down and were like, I want to draw, a character with a 69 on his face. And I'll make it make sense.
I mean, what better way?
I guess you're right. I guess it is pretty baller.
It's baller.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I don't know what's baller, the face? Yeah, the face is...
Over the chest? The face. The face. Anyway,
okay.
Sorry to answer you so quickly.
No,
man.
It's fine.
But yeah, we see him, and then we see that Urahara sends out Hiyori to help them out, which he regrets and
immediately, literally
will regret. Yeah, for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see some other characters, and their backstory and their existence in Soul Society is also revealed. And this is another one that shook me. Obviously, we're starting to see now that all of the Vizards were all of these people. I don't know why. I just love it. Of course it makes sense. But, as you start to see them slowly break off and go, and, even Shinji ends up joining them, and we see some other characters start to show up. I'm just a sucker for, I guess, this group of people who break off and something this inciting incident, something crazy happens to them and causes them to become a separate, equally powerful group of people. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. But the reveal that really got me was the reveal of Tessai Tsukabishi being the head of this Keto Corp. Urahara's assistant, the buff guy in the apron, was a G in Soul Society too. Mm-hmm. That. I shouldn't be surprised, but I was oh damn.
It's everyone.
Everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes complete sense, and it should have been obvious, and it probably is obvious for most people, but I guess I just didn't expect that for whatever reason. I don't know. So, they're talking about being sent to go help out, and one of the captains is the head doesn't need to go. I'll just send my assistant captain, Lisa, who again is becomes a Vizard again. This is what I like, because we're starting to see we're starting to see like the pendulum swinging backwards, right? But we're starting to see the course of events, like these super specific course of events that needed to happen for all these specific people to end up like in this one place, like Lost, you know?
Like Lost.
I don't know, yeah.
Bleach is a lot like Lost.
Right. Anyway, very cool. Like I said, love it. So then Urahara plans, because he's told he can't go, so he decides like I'm just gonna go,
of course.
But I'm gonna go though.
Yeah, like you guys, like you do your shit. Like I'm gonna head out though.
So he obviously gets some help from Tessai to go, and then we find out about the holification and Tosen's reveal and betrayal. And Aizen reveals himself to everybody, to Shinji, his captain, who this exchange, again, we haven't known these characters for very long. We've known Aizen for a very long time, and we've seen a decent amount of Shinji, but we haven't spent as much time with him as we've spent with other characters, but seeing him and him having this interaction with Aizen here, it was like a really impactful moment. And
Aizen was such a gaslighter too. He was like, well, if maybe if you got to know me, you would have known. It's like, bro, it doesn't matter.
I don't know if that's the definition of gaslighting, though.
Well, he's like saying, like, maybe this wouldn't have happened. That's what he's saying. Maybe this wouldn't happen if you would have got to know me more. Like, putting it on him, like, you know.
Right. No, yeah, he did put it all on. He put it all on Shinji.
Yeah.
And blamed Shinji. And throws that line because Shinji tries to use it again. I've known something was off about you since you were in your mother's womb, and he's like, but you haven't. Like, you kept me at arm's length. Like, it was your suspicion of me that allowed me to be able to get away with all the things that I got away with. Like, you just didn't want to let anybody in. You didn't want to get too close.
He was able to, make someone look like him. He's
too.
Like, well, actually, if you just got to know, it's like, bro, he looked like you. Like, you would never suspected that.
Right. But he's also saying that even though he looked like me,
he didn't talk like me.
He didn't have my personality.
But did he open up to anyone else?
Well, but that's the thing. He's saying that Shinji didn't even try.
But everyone else too? All the other captains, he's saying?
But that's not his captain. He would at least want the person he's spending the most time with.
Yeah.
And the person who he's working directly under.
Like his villain origin story, like.
But I agree with what you were saying at the beginning of the episode, how I like this more than Aizen's first reveal. Well, it's technically second, but our first reveal. I like this way more than the reveal in Soul Society. This was so much more impactful and so much more powerful. To see Shinji processing all of this and to see Shinji like essentially lose and Aizen to win in that moment 100 years ago.
And even Urahara too lose.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people lost. I mean, a lot of people lost in Soul Society for sure, but still.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
That's when Urahara and Tessai show up, and Tessai uses a forbidden spell to help them escape.
Jikan Tenshi.
And this shit is crazy. Go off, Mehgan. Go off. Get him, dude. Get him. Pronounce it perfectly.
I didn't write it well.
Yikes.
I didn't write it well.
Well, I can't win them all, huh?
Sorry.
Forbidden spell to bend space and time, though. That's crazy. Again, you think you understand everything. You think you've seen people, even in a world like Bleach, you think, I can only imagine what the most powerful Kido or whatever, I can only imagine what that would be. But then you have someone who uses a forbidden spell to bend space and time. And I know that the reason that they probably can't use that all the time, and the reason it is forbidden, is because it can really mess with things like the natural order of things, all the same reasons that, you can't, other stories and, people can't use things like that. But damn. What a clutch move to have in your back pocket.
At all times.
At all times.
It's just forbidden, though.
It's forbidden, but you can still do it. I've been doing it all the time.
Oh.
Come get me.
Oh.
I freaking dare you. I'll bend space and time and run away from you.
Oh. Like Doctor Who.
For real, dude. For real. That's when Urahara talks about the Hogyoku and how he's going to use that to help them.
Oh, before this too, like, I mean, the whole interaction with Urahara and Aizen, like, was so, I like laughed out loud. It was so funny because they like show up and he's like, look, whoa, look who we have here. And he's like, I was just looking at them and they got hurt. And he's
he's like, I came here to like help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aizen straight up lying to his face was so funny.
Yeah.
He's like, I just got here.
It's like catching a kid,
Yeah.
And he's, he's got like, chocolate all over his face and a cookie jar in his hand. And you're like, what are you doing? He's like, the cookie jar fell. I was just trying to put it back.
Yeah.
And you're like, you ate the cookies.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
Huh?
No way.
How
dude.
dare you?
No way. I noticed that it was like off of the top of the fridge. And I know you don't like it when it's not on the fridge.
All of the cookies fell on the floor, so I had to throw them out.
Yeah, I had to throw them out. They got dirty. You want to eat dirty cookies?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No. And as I was like throwing it out, like they started, it's hot in here. So they started melting.
And
I probably wiped my mouth. That's why I have a little bit right here.
Yeah. But it's one of those situations, you're right, where it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, give it up.
Come on.
Like, give it up. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I guess, yeah, you know what I'm doing here. Because he's like, they're injured. And he's like, this is holification. And Aizen's like, yep, I knew you weren't no scrub.
Yeah, he's pretty actually like, wow.
Yeah.
I think Aizen thought he was one of the only people who was aware of that or looking into that. But
well, he knew someone was up right when he saw him.
Yeah.
Or felt his presence, his soul energy.
Energy. But that's when the Council of 46 call Tessai and Urahara before them, and basically Aizen frames them.
Yeah, plays them 100%.
For everything. And the reason that he can, number one, I don't think that Aizen was controlling the council at this point.
No, I think that he just, because they say like, oh, he was there, all last night. And he was like, oh, she's a puppet.
And he has the word of Kyoraku, the like cherry blossom captain. Mm-hmm. He saw him and can attest to that. So they're like, we have eyewitnesses, eyewitness reports from captain saying that he was here.
And you were just hired.
And and you were not here. And
we know you've been studying holification.
Well, I don't even know if they know that he was studying holification.
They say that, right?
Well, because they took all of them back to like help them out. And then that's when somebody else comes in and goes like, yeah, we found them all in his lab.
They're like, yeah.
But he was like, yeah, I mean, I took them there to save them. But of course. So they they're going to banish them and banish Urahara. And I forget how they were planning on punishing Tessai, but Yoruchi shows up and helps him escape. And so, and also like it had showed Urahara trying to use the Hogyoku and it wasn't working. It just wasn't working. And so he basically said like, I'm going to create 20 Gigai and I'm going to do whatever I can to reverse this holification. I'm going to get us all out of here and I'm going to do whatever I can. And that's when we cut back to present day Shinji saying that he owes a lot to Urahara, and thus being, I guess, the origin story of the Vizards and the backstory being revealed for all of them and their place in Soul Society and so many other characters. But he also says, and we owe a lot to Aizen as well. And we gotta go, basically it's time to pay up, I guess. It's time to go. Yeah. It's time to go.
We've waited long.
Back.
We waited long enough.
Yeah. Best, I don't know how many chapters it was, 12 chapters, best 12 chapters of Bleach, hands down. Hands down.
I agree.
That brings us into the Arrancar decisive Battle of Katakura arc. And we're going to get through this pretty quickly because it is just mostly fights. And we did talk about the cool moments and meaning, themes, symbolism surrounding the fights. So we'll probably end up getting through this pretty quickly. But where it starts is obviously all the Arrancar and the Samaspada have come to this fake Katakura village, Ichigo's town, the fake version, and they are met with captains and assistant captains from Soul Society who were there ready to fight them.
Yes.
immediately as this starts popping off, Yamato traps Aizen, Gin, Tosin all in flames. Like all in this basically prison of flames. And where they are basically forced to stay and watch everything unfold as it happens. We get a little cut back to Ichigo going after Orihime, who is still being taunted by Ulquiorra. And, he's trying to fight against the Exequias with the help of Chad, Ishida, Renji, Rukia, the whole gang. And we see that Ulquiorra and Ichigo are about to face off. But more importantly, back to Karakura, the 4 pillars that are the way and the reason that these 2 towns were able to stay separated are being guarded by none other than Ikaku, Yumichika, Izuru, and Suhei Hisagi. This, out of all the 5, there are a lot of highlight moments, but these guys, like, showing up, these 4 guarding these pillars.
Yeah.
I know,
I liked it. They're like, just go after the pillars.
Yeah.
Like, you idiots. You think that pillars guarded fools. And then they come in like,
yeah, insane. And I thought that, the way that they were able to teleport or transport the original Katakura Town to Soul Society and have the fake one be set in its place, I thought these 4 pillars, I thought it was because of, and I guess it is, all 4 pillars, but I thought you'd need to destroy all 4 pillars to cause them to switch places again. But it turns out if even one of those motherfuckers go down, it's going to start spilling back into...
They're done.
Into the real world. But that makes sense because it's almost like it's on the 4 corners of the city. So if one gets destroyed, it's slowly going to start spreading to the middle.
Just like if a pillar of a chair broke, like how can it stand?
A pillar of a chair? Really? You call them pillars and not legs? Like the leg of a chair? Call them pillars.
I was just using that as an example.
Pillar of a chair.
You didn't have to attack me like that.
It wasn't an attack. It was a comment. It was observation. And I just wanted to make sure that we were talking about the same thing. Maybe you sit on thrones.
I do. That's why I said it.
You actually do. Pillow thrones. Plushy thrones. You do.
Pillow, squish, mallow.
Mehgan, that is a reach. That is probably one of the biggest reaches ever in the history of the show. So congratulations for that. I hate it. And I hate it. Just kidding. It's been a while. It had been a while in the episode before, since we had one of those, interactions. So I just wanted to poke them. Ow, she bit me. Ow.
Bear, squishmallow.
Ay, dude. Fuck. Mad goofy, dude. I know. I'm sorry. So this is cool. I love all of these guys, Ikaku and Izuru. They're all goats. I love all of them, but Ikaku and Izuru, something about them I've just always really loved, especially Izuru's Zanpakuto and gravity or weight and being able to multiply weight was so sick. If you had to say out of Ikaku, this is maybe how we'll talk about this to make it a little more interesting. If you had to talk about, or say that the Ikaku fight, the Yumichika fight, the Izuru fight, or the Hisagi fight was, which one was your favorite out of the 4? Or which one did you enjoy the most out of the 4? And I think I have my answer.
I would say because it did have more weight after the fight, the Ikaku fight.
Right.
But second to that would probably be... I don't know if it was Hisagi with the steel wings.
That is Izuru.
Yeah. Izuru's fight.
Yeah, I agree. I actually 100% could not agree more.
We don't even talk about this, you guys.
We really don't.
We really don't. Yeah.
I don't really talk to Mehgan at all.
No, not after we record. We kind of just.
It's emails.
Yeah, usually emails,
all
like CC, like through like the rest of our stuff.
yeah. Right. So Yeah, Izuru gets taunted a little bit with around this point. For
Good.
Why good? Why is it good to taunt with Izuru? Why? Why are you like this?
Because he held back in the fight.
Oh, you mean Ikaku?
There's too many E's.
Izuru gets toyed with because he worked under Gin. He was
yes.
in
Okay.
Gin's company.
Yes. Yeah, he was having like.
Yeah.
And Gin's
and
like, I'm happy he's doing well.
Which I know Gin, and I don't remember. I swear to God, I don't remember. Not that I have to swear to God. Most people are like, yeah, it sounds like you never read Bleach.
Yeah, it sounds like you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it sounds like you have no idea. You could have fooled me.
You're a poser.
I'm not a poser, dude. I was just like 15 years old.
You're 15 years old and everything.
That was half of my life ago.
Yeah, half of your life ago.
Half of my life ago.
Mixed with like, just things that make you forget, which guilty as charged. I couldn't tell you half of the things that I've watched. Because my brain chemicals they're fried.
I'm technically on a scientific level, I'm a completely different person. Molecularly, I have shed all of those cells, and my body has regenerated or generated new ones, created new ones, and so on a molecular level, dude, I'm a new guy. I'm new.
I'm new again.
I'm new again. But I don't remember, but I really do feel like, obviously, like, there has to be a point to sprinkling in all this Gin stuff, like to be sprinkling in his relationship with Matsumoto and the relationship that they had before. Maybe it's just so that she can have a reason, or other people can have a reason to question her in battle. Or maybe it's because he is really not as bad. I mean, he is bad for sure.
He was groomed.
He was groomed. He was groomed.
Yeah,
for sure. Aizen,
and so was Momo.
Aizen, yeah.
Aizen's a groomer,
and I think maybe that's why Momo comes back again too, and we're seeing Momo as much as we're seeing Momo too, because I think we are being shown again what he does to like people younger than him in positions of power under him, and how he manipulates and brainwashes them. Mm-hmm. Because even like, why else get this moment with Gin where he's just like, I'm just glad he's doing okay. Like, to Izuru, he's happy that Izuru's there, like, not to hurt him, but to say, like, I'm just glad, like, I know that what he was going through when we left Soul Society, like, I'm just glad he's all right, He doesn't really say it like that, but I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. He was groomed, and maybe they'll be able to somehow, like, snap him out of it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not. But then we see the Fractions.
That's good.
I was trying, dude. Someone said I couldn't pronounce shit in the
I
comments
saw
last time,
that.
so
I was like, ugh.
Gotta try really hard. Cause fuck me, right? Just like over here, pages of notes, just like trying to write everybody's name down, trying to write everybody's move down, because I want to respect the series and don't want to, pronounce anything or forget anybody's name for fear of another comment where someone calls me out for that. But I'm just, fuck me, huh? I'm just over here mispronouncing things. Doesn't even care. I'm kidding. Just kidding. That was and scene. I can't with that.
I'm
today.
sorry. It's just funny.
But these are people. The fractions are and again, I do know that we meet the primera espada.
Primera espada, mira.
And we meet the third, and we meet a lot of espada.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe someone will correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I do believe that a lot of the people that we see, the people of the four pillars fight are the fractions, which are the espadas, like underlings, henchmen that they've handpicked.
Yeah, for these fights. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, of all the fights, we start with the beauty fight.
That's the definition of bricked up guy.
That's the bricked up guy.
Yeah, miraculous, sweet, ultra funky, fantastic, dramatic.
Wow. Love it.
That's what he did.
And he kind of had his transformation was kind of cool, and his kind of like magical girl outfit was funny.
He's just laughing at him.
It is really cool to see the Fuji Kujaku again. This, of course, what we're learning from this fight is something, and I like that it starts here. See, Kubo is a great storyteller, like a very masterful storyteller. Because again, when we're learning about how all of these companies like view battle and everything, like I said in the beginning, like he is starting with this fight purposely, I think, to reiterate, okay, like this is like we already know this one. Mm-hmm. Like we already know about this company and this person. You're going to see a little bit more of it, but that's going to be the lead in to the other ones that we haven't, we don't know as much about. But we learn what we learn, which is just that this is a company that likes and honors and views like keto and all these things as I think I'm saying that right, by the way. I just
keto, the diet?
I think I keep getting it confused with the diet, and I'm
think
second
they
guessing
are
myself.
all on keto, though.
I mean, they have to be.
To be beautiful.
To be beautiful and to be, in the peak physical condition that they all are in.
Yeah. You ask anyone, you're like, oh, they look semi-attractive or like all the way attractive. And you're like, oh, like, what do you do? Like, what's your secret? Keto. Oh, okay. Cool. Could it be me? You know?
Yeah, I need to get on keto, dude. For real. But yeah, Yume Chika, what we learn here is that he doesn't like to use his Bankai because people in his company don't respect that. They respect brute force, physical strength. Yeah. He is in the same company. Kenpachi is his captain. So that is what they honor, and that is why he hides his Fuji Kujaku. But this was a really cool fight, a really cool, again, moment. And we finally get to see what was hinted at in Soul Society, what was shown kind of off page, I guess. We finally get to see his Bankai, because he did the same thing in Soul Society. We just didn't get to see it. Now we get to see it. Then we get the fight with the Izuru versus the wings, the guy with the wings.
In the end, they're just wings.
And the Zanpakuto.
Yeah, the Zanpakuto was sick.
To like double, like every time you slice through something with it, it makes it heavier and heavier and heavier. And correct me if I'm wrong, Megan, I don't know if you wrote this down. But the way that they view battle and how they think of it is like it needs to be like as gory and gruesome as possible. Like fights don't need to be looked at as like honorable things. Like they're like battle, war, death are all like horrible. And so
they should be looked at like I think it was I have it written here. Those who do not fear the blades they wield do not deserve to wield them.
I think that was Hisage who said that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then I'm getting them mixed up. That's the next one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think this is the one. Like Kenpachi likes fighting. It's like more of like a sport, right?
Right. Well, that was the previous one we talked about.
I keep getting mixed up.
I know, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay. So gory.
See, I wrote down the Shinigami names.
And you didn't bring anything.
No, because you were talking about, I think you were naming, I don't know what you did. No, that's not what I was saying. I think you wrote down the Arrancar names, but I didn't even bother to really write down the Arrancar names because I'm like, this is the last time we'll see them. Like the Shinigami names are the ones I need to like reiterate and remember. So I think like, I'm sorry. I'm not like, I wasn't saying that to be any like way. I really wasn't. Why are you reacting this way? But the easier to fight, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah.
Where, he just basically said like wars and battle and death, like these are like horrible things and they don't need to be romanticized.
They should be horrible.
They should be horrible. Mm-hmm. They should be horrible.
That's what I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember that. And I remember him, like towards the end of the fight, he's like, no, wait. And he's like, a warrior should never beg for his life. Because he's all talking about, he's like, we do a warrior cry. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck that is, but this is what we do. And this is what I do. And if you're a true warrior, put all that shining glitter on it. You know?
Exactly. Then we get the Hisage versus the masked guy fight where he's like chipping away his mask to get stronger.
Yes, which was awesome. He's like, I'm fighting you at an assistant captain level. Now I'm fighting you at a captain level. I'm like, chill.
And how they view battle and fighting is, like you said, power is to be respected and feared, because he talks about how he's like, I don't really like my Zanpakuto. Like, I am afraid of I fear, what it's capable of, I guess. And he's like, you're cocky, you're whatever. And that's when he basically says like, no, like you need to be like, this is a weapon. Like you need to respect and fear the blade. Basically.
I think people should fear, driving in cars.
I think that too.
Because you're literally in a thing that could kill like you and potentially a lot of other people. People just drive around willy-nilly just because there's roads. Like, you're in a freaking metal box with wheels.
Yeah.
That if you crash, you could, like, die. Like, people don't think about that. Because it's just a part of their day-to-day life,
It's pretty scary, dude. If you think about it, cars are Zanpakuto. Yeah. I think that's what you're trying to say. Yeah. Because they're powerful, or
Four
at least,
doors,
or at least they're like, I mean, they are weapons for sure.
Weapons.
Swords,
you have to steer
maybe. Them. Yeah, you have to steer them. Sure, you do.
Yeah.
What's the way we can like really like?
They have license plate numbers. They all have
okay,
names.
well now you're being like really specific. They have names. People name their cars.
Name their
See,
cars.
that's what I'm like. You're just being like you're
okay.
like too
It's crazy how you just shot me down.
Well, I want to try
and
to
then
elevate.
realize what I actually said.
No, I was shooting
and then
down.
was like, oh, actually, that was a really good. Like that was so fucking crazy right now. Oh my god, that was so insane.
I was shooting down the license plate.
Back.
I was shooting down the license plate thing, not the car naming thing.
You can customize a license plate, and that becomes the name of your car.
Okay,
People don't name their cars. What are they, boats?
People name their cars.
Idiot.
Almost everybody names their car.
Well, what's your car's name?
What's
your car's name? Do you name your car?
My car's name, honestly, when I thought about it, I had a gray, or have, it's just a battery you need to fix. Gray Honda Civic, and because of gray, I named it Killua. And I have a Killua sticker on it.
Mad goofy.
You're mad goofy, dude, and mad sussy, and your attitude is mid this episode. I'm just kidding. That was too far.
Yikes.
Anyway, we're at the home stretch. This is, of course, when we get that. So, again, this is what we get from all of these fights. It seems like we're brushing past these or breezing through these, but it's just because although the fights are really epic and really cool and really awesome to see, I think it was these moments and what the fights sort of represented that are, to me personally, more worth talking about. Other than just saying like, and then he did that, and that was cool, and then he did that, and that was cool. But we end sort of on the, and these are all, like end is kind of a loose way of phrasing it because these are all happening around the same time. But the last fight that we have to talk about in this chunk of these four is the Ikkaku one, which Ikkaku loses because he refuses to use his Bankai for all the reasons that we stated. He doesn't want people to know he's achieved this because he doesn't want to become forced to be a captain. And this is where he gets scolded by Iba, who tells him that, his pride, he calls him a child and says, his pride is less important than his duty. And all of these, like, this was a really powerful exchange between these two, specifically on Iba's end, telling him, like, this is like some kid shit, some prideful, immature shit. Like,
yeah, it's like you're not doing it for the greater good. Like, you're just so like a selfish reason to not, it's not just your life on the line, Yeah,
no, yeah. I mean, it was a, what do you call it? Like a rude awakening, a reminder to give you some perspective, give you Ikkaku some perspective on the situation.
Like I said, if it was just like a little hollow fight and he was just like in Soul Society and he's like, I guess I gotta take care of this hollow real quick, like, then I would see why you wouldn't want to use your Bankai. But this is like a crazy ass mission. Everyone's fighting for their lives. And you're just like, I'm just gonna hold back a little bit. I'm not gonna use my most, powerful way of fighting because I don't want anyone to know my secret. It's like everyone knows, dude.
And that's funny too. Everybody does know.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, he's like, Iba, how did you know? And it's like, bro, everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows. But of all the fights, I think that moment and that exchange was a highlight for me, one of my favorite moments, as well as the Izuru fight for his description of battle and why it shouldn't be romanticized in all these things.
And another one this I always butcher it. Konamura? Konamura?
Are you talking about
Foxhead?
Oh, right. Yeah, because he ends up getting saved by Komamura. Yeah.
Yeah, this part's awesome.
Yeah. This was a really epic moment, and I know you liked this captain and you wanted to see more of him in Soul Society, and he has been gone. Like, almost completely gone for a very long time, but comes in to save the day and uses his Bankai against this Arrancar whose released form is like this whale, this nasty whale
big thing. Head thing.
Big head at first, and then into something called, because the Arrancar are all beasts, and he is just a giant like whale, but he's all chin. You know what I mean? But this was a very epic moment and fight, and he's like, stand behind me.
Yeah. I was like, woo!
Yeah, sick. Definitely a moment I think in like the anime that we would have all been like throwing our popcorn in the air. I eat popcorn when I watch anime. Just in case you were wondering.
Specifically Bleach.
Specifically Bleach.
And it's caramel corn.
Yeah, sure. I was going to say I eat maybe like the cheese because it's orange.
I was about to say, those tins, you have like caramel, you have the cheese, you have the regular, and then you have like the chocolate covered. Like, what would you gravitate towards first?
Caramel.
For 100%. Every time. But like you would eat the cheese?
Yeah.
I would never eat the cheese one.
Yeah, I would eat the cheese.
And the chocolate one, of course.
Okay. Rude.
I'm saying, of course, because everyone eats that one.
No, and I'm going to be 100% honest. I wouldn't eat the chocolate. I don't really like chocolate flavored or chocolate covered popcorn. I love chocolate. I love me all kinds of chocolate. But it's my least favorite popcorn. I like the cheese. I like the caramel, whatever.
And regular?
And regular. Lots of butter. And a white cheddar one's really good too.
Oh, I like that one, yeah.
Yeah. Now you like it. Anyway.
I never even mentioned it until you brought it up.
It's still a cheese. It's still a cheese type of popcorn. Anyway. Awesome moment when he shows up. Then we get Matsumoto and her sand versus
and her sand
versus the other three Arrancar or the other three faction, and Hinamori shows up before they kind of do what they do and create this chimera, which was an awesome moment that you're
that was crazy.
I assume was a highlight moment for you too. Like
yeah. Definitely.
But Hinamori shows up, and I don't know why they let this girl on the battlefield. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know why they let her.
Yeah, they're like, Orihime cannot be on the battlefield.
Yeah,
Matsumoto, they're on the same level, but because she does do some work, but
she do.
Yeah,
but here's the thing,
but
right?
she's just not well yet. She's not well
because she's over there like, okay. Matsumoto asked her, like, are you sure? And Hitsugaya asked Matsumoto.
Yeah.
Hitsugaya asked Matsumoto, like, when shit was about to start going down, he's like, are you sure? Are you sure? And she's like, why wouldn't I be good? He's like, are you sure you're good? She's like, why wouldn't I be good? And he's thinking, like, because you got some shit that you're not telling us about, like, how your feelings toward Gin and your past with Gin. Like, I know I'm not going to, like, call you out on it, but I'm just using this as an open door. If you want to step through it, maybe. If you want to step through it, you can. But are you good? She's like, yeah, I'm good. And then, Momo comes in, and Matsumoto's like, are you good? She's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm better. I'm better. Like Captain Aizen's like, hold is, it doesn't have a hold on me anymore. And then Matsumoto's like, I don't know if you realize what you just said, but you called him like Captain Aizen still.
The minute she has the opportunity, she's turning on all of them when she sees Aizen.
Unfortunately, yeah, dude.
The minute.
But again, I really think you're onto something, Megan. I really do think that we are seeing the severity of this brainwashing, because again, maybe it is to reiterate sort of like, so we can get a firsthand experience or like we see exactly what happened again, and maybe we might not.
Yeah, like
not
an example.
Yeah. Maybe we might not like him because we met him that way, and he has that kind of like sneaky, snaky smile. But when we see a character like Momo, who's like cute and bubbly, who is brainwashed, and we see him do the same thing, like I don't know, maybe it's there to make us empathize with him more. Might be onto something there, Mehgan. Then the three Arrancar create the Chimera, which is an intense and insane moment.
And when does the turtleneck, I call her the TNT,
right?
Turtleneck Titty Espada.
Oh, right. They didn't really have like a big moment.
No.
They were there. Hitsugaya was fighting them, and I wrote that down too towards the end right here because they just keep like it's them and again, sorry, I'm just referring to my notes. It's them and Kyoraku because Hitsugaya, that TNT, like you said, turtleneck titty. Right. She's the third, and the espada that Kyoraku is fighting is the primera espada, the number one.
Yeah, I really like that fight. Well, he was. It
never really fully happens.
But I did like the the trickery where he's like, oh, I can't. The one who was with Sofin.
Right.
Sofin's
Soifan
hit her. She's like bullying that guy. And then he just ends up, being a G.
Yeah, and Soifan's coming up right now too. But even Captain Aizen, I'm freaking Momo over here. Even Aizen notices like Momo's presence.
Yeah, he's like, nothing to worry about. I don't give a shit. I'm like, damn, Aizen, chill. Like you're such a villain to be a villain, I
mean, really.
He's like, okay, I just want to point out too.
Go ahead. Go off. Do you?
I had to write this down and I had to bring it to the table because I've just noticed it so much.
Oh yeah.
The whole I don't know your name, but it doesn't matter anyway because I'm gonna kill you, or I didn't quite catch your name. Oh, you don't worry about it because don't worry about it. You're not worthy. Or oh, what's your name so I know the person to kill. Like it is.
You're over it,
bro.
You're over it.
It's been used like over 20 times. Like at this point, I wouldn't even be saying it if it wasn't. Like it happened again with Soifan again, and I was like, oh my god, again. Like,
yeah,
damn.
It is a.
I get that it's a theme of respect.
No, yeah. But I was gonna say more so. I think it's just like maybe it's also I don't know. I lost confidence in it as I started to articulate it, but maybe it's also just a way for Kubo to organically have their name
introductions,
have them say their name or give an introduction.
Yeah, because it's like I'm so and so, and I'm about to fight you. That would feel weird
instead of having. But it's like just have a little thing up, just have a little thing up. But it is a respect thing too. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like that exact line, almost word for word, has been. That exchange of dialogue has happened so many times. I got your back on that one.
Thank you.
I got your back on that one.
Thought you were going to attack me.
No, dude, not this time.
Thanks.
Then we get you're welcome. Then we get Soifan versus her Arrancar. And this fight was also really, really cool.
Yeah.
Soifan, I absolutely love.
I
Soifan.
love her so much. Tsundere, let's go.
And she's really, she looks like she's getting her ass whooped a little bit. And so... this is a name I'm going to butcher, but Marichio, who is also fighting the mammoth Arrancar with his flail, which was pretty sick.
Yes, that's Mm-hmm.
He is like, damn, he
sees it. He sees it, and he's like, damn, she's getting her ass beat.
And the mammoth is kind of like, saying he's slow and saying he's this and he's that, but he kind of has his cool moment where he's like, I'm part of the secret remote whatever squad.
You think I'm slow? You're an idiot. And he goes, I knew he was playing me.
Yeah. Then he sees Soifan and he goes to help her and she's like, I was just kind of interested in how some of my techniques would fare against. I was just also kind of toying with this.
Yeah, don't interrupt my fight. I'm getting information.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, damn.
Yeah, she was kind of studying and trying to perfect her craft a little bit.
And she's like, I guess it'll be I want it to be in 1, but it'll hurt like 2. I was like,
well, she did do 2.
oh, she did. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. What was the line? Yeah, she did do 2.
The same spot on the front and on the back, but it hit when they meet, it hit the same spot. I was aiming for her organs.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Which is like, she's like, don't see, because they're fighting, and then there's like that old man, who's like kind of in charge of the
right. He's like the
head, or he's overseeing the operation.
What number is he?
Yeah, I don't know what number he is.
What number is he?
But he, they finish up the job.
Because he's sitting up there in his throne.
Yeah, and they're like, don't speak about what I just did. We don't want to, show all our cards just yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Soifan and Marichio were able to defeat their Rancor. And Soifan and her fight, I just love seeing Soifan. And
yeah, me too.
How she's like approaching this battle and then using it as sort of like we said, a way to like test her techniques on this Rancor was really cool. Then we get Kyoraku versus the number 1, and Ukitake versus, I believe, his Faction, which I don't know if they're in a Rancor Espada, or a Faction, the little kid.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I was like, damn, he was like roasting her. We get another freaking roast line with Matsumoto, and it was like, I was afraid your hearing was as bad as your face and your sense of style. I was like, damn.
Yeah, and they're like, she's trying to get to you. She's trying to bait you.
Yeah.
That would have worked on me, though.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, cowgirl.
They call her cowgirl. Yeah, because she's got milkers.
Yeah. I was like, oh, what a horrible diss. Like,
maybe she's self-conscious about it. Maybe she's got back problems or something. I don't know.
I would think in Soul Society, they don't have to worry about that. You think?
She is pretty strong. She probably does have a strong back. Anyway, Kyoraku versus the number 1. Their interaction is pretty funny too. They both are just like, I don't wanna do this. Like, I was kind of hoping I could just pretend or do some things that look like fighting until everything kind of blows over, and then we could just kind of figure out whatever we need to figure out when we get there. And he's kind of like, I would normally do the same thing, but I kind of have to.
Yeah.
And then this kind of happens up until the end of this arc. We don't really get to see them go at it. They kind of exchange a few blows here and there, but nothing major. And we kind of get to see a similar funny battle or exchange between Ukitake and the other kid. He's like, I don't want to fight a kid.
Go play with your dolls.
Yeah.
Especially a woman. I was like, okay, chill though. I guess a little kid, but.
Well, who knows? Maybe.
Aging.
These Espada, I just want to say, are pretty, they are like Loopy. We said was we kept calling
Loopy
him or her.
Yeah, him or her.
But their gender is like pretty ambiguous.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. But he ends up fighting her a little bit. And he's like, you're sloppy.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you home.
Yeah.
Being like, this means nothing to me. You're not worth it. I was like, dang.
And then to show up to help, some of the boys, this is what I wrote down in my notes. Some of the boys show up to try to help with the Chimera. But end up, and Izuru's just trying to heal Matsumoto.
Dude, Matsumoto got fucked
Matsumoto gets wrecked.
Her half of her side is like gone.
And Momo gets pretty wrecked too.
Yeah.
But Matsumoto worse, like half her side's gone. And so Izuru's like, I gotta get to her first. And they're trying to buy him time, and they're struggling, and they're having a really hard time.
Yeah, the Chimera is like wild. It's like made up of all of their left arms, and even they're like, he's creepy.
Well, they're like, we can't control him.
Yeah. Which is
and he doesn't respond to any commands we give him. Crazy.
He's scary looking too.
But that's when old man Yamato shows up to save the day. And his strength, you would assume he would have to be like one of the strongest people you have ever seen. But you really do, again, in a world and in a story where everybody is so incredibly strong and people are doing things that are absolutely insane, you'd think it'd be hard to show how much stronger Yamato is than all of them. But he shows up, and they're already having a hard time with this Chimera. Already having a hard time. When he shows up, the Chimera like does some transformation, and its arm gets even like bigger and stronger than it already was when multiple assistant captains and captains were having a hard time defeating it. And this Chimera with his big arm comes to swipe Yamato, and Yamato's like, psh, Just swipes it out of the way. Yeah. And then slices him in half, and then the two halves come after him, and he does it again, like easily. Like, this man isn't breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
Even the other three, Arrancar, who were fighting Matsumoto and Momo, come to try to stop him. And he's just waves his hand, and the flames just incinerate them till there's nothing left.
Sick.
This man and his strength is wild. He is out of control strong.
And he was like, "You forced me to fight." Like,
yeah,
bro, you weren't gonna fight. Like,
and he's like, "You guys should be ashamed to force."
Bro, if you were fighting, this shit would not be take as long as it is.
Look, man, a warrior has
boom.
honor. Okay, and he's there. His honor is in his students and in his captains, his underlings.
I guess that's true.
All right,
yeah.
and he wants them to
grow,
get a dub,
to learn.
Yeah,
get a dub,
to get a win.
I thought you meant he wants them to get cast as like a dub.
Yeah. Bring it all the way back, to that. Yeah, and that's when we see Hitsugaya versus the third, as you have dubbed her, the TNT, that is titties,
turtleneck, titty, espada.
T and T, not TNT.
No, T, turtle,
neck. Oh,
neck,
TNT, right.
Titty, espada. So it could be TNT.
TNTE.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not an espada though, right? She's an
espada.
She is? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And we don't get to see much of their fight. We get to see them exchange a couple blows, but nothing major. And it kind of ends around this point where, the factions have been taken out.
Yes, and they're like, everyone's gone. All of them are wiped out. Like, that was crazy.
Now they're wiped out. They've done whatever they've been able to do to contain the damage, or the real Katakura start to come back into the real world. They've done whatever they could do to contain it, but now they've taken out, all of this has been them taking out what I assume are factions, or at least lower ranking Arrancar for sure. Possibly some of them might have been Espada too, but I don't think so. All of that was just them. Now they still have the Espadas to contend with. So now we're going to get to see the other captains, like Ukitake and Kyo. I always forget his name. Kyo, bear with me. Kyoraku. Fight theirs, and Hitsugaya fight his. And who knows? I mean, you assume that Yamato is going to have to go against Aizen.
Yeah,
I would assume. But everybody is kind of like done with the minions and set up for the real fight.
Yeah.
Like now that was
warm up.
That was the warm up.
The pretty crazy warm up. I mean,
this is the title card. This is the headliner. That was the opening act. So everyone's kind of paired up for their fight in Karakura and in Hueco Mundo. We got Ezequias versus like Renji and Rukia still going on, Chad and Ishida and everybody dealing with that. And we finally see Ichigo and Ulquiorra square off to settle things. Like, this is going to be their final fight. Like, it's set up in such a way so that like this is it. And that's where this chunk of chapters, what the Bleach Wiki calls the past arc and the decisive battle of Karakura arc, end.
Damn.
Woo! A little all over the place in that one, guys, not gonna lie.
There was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. Like, just, I just feel like sometimes, like, I don't know, man. I feel like people, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like there are some people who, like, feel like our because we might joke around or whatever, like, feel like our enjoyment or excitement for Bleach is like disingenuine, and might view like us being silly or us genuinely forgetting like names or moves as like us caring less,
being
but it's
disrespectful
not, or being disrespectful. I mean, I mean that's literally why I take so many notes and I try to write everybody's names and the moves and everything chronologically down, is because I'm trying to give the most respect I can, and I have fun doing it, especially sitting next to my co-host, Mehgan, who, it's a lot of fun to do these episodes with. So I don't want anybody to think that, because we're a little sillier, or we forget names or get things out of order, that we care any less, or that anything we do or express is disingenuous. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. And we're doing our best. And we're trying to have fun while we do it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say. Mehgan, any final thoughts or anything else you want to say about everything that we read or we're covering this time around?
Again, yeah, the past arc was probably like a highlight for Bleach so far for me. I really enjoyed seeing all of the history of how all these people know each other, their history with each other, and also Soul Society. Seeing everyone's like, I guess role, how they fit into it, like how I have questions like Mayuri, like he knew about what was going on with Aizen, but he didn't say anything. He must have known.
I don't know if he maybe also had a hunch as well. I mean, he has to know something. He has to know more, I think, than other people.
Yeah, because he is.
Well, I mean, now everybody knows.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like crazy that like no one else kind of had that sneaking suspicion about Aizen. Well, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna stay on that. But I did enjoy these couple chapters a lot. I do like the I say it every episode, like the overall designs are like insane.
Yeah.
And the Ikaku fight was really a great moment, and I think that he's gonna like next time we see him in a fight, he's gonna use his Bankai and stand up.
Yeah.
Which is exciting, and Ichigo and Orihime, like him saving her, like I don't know when, like. I assume that they get together at some point. I don't know when, but maybe that'll happen after. And that's such a crazy thing to think about during these arcs, because it's like, I know there is like romance, but like, where's the room for it with all these fights? So that's exciting too. But yeah, the past arc was just amazing, awesome. I mean, I love the Vizards. They're probably my favorite group. In Bleach that we've been introduced to, and just knowing that they had a part and they played into Soul Society, and like you said, kind of like breaking against the straying against the pack and like becoming your own thing, like kind of being like rebels, I guess, in a sense, or being castaways.
Being like the castaways, because it kind of was against their will.
No, definitely, they didn't want to be holified for sure. But seeing that process too, I mean, everything was super informative and like really eye-opening to everyone's relationships in the past, and I hope we get more of that in the future. And I really enjoyed these couple chapters. Just this chunk of the past arc was so sick. The pendulum. Yeah. Give me more.
Please give me more. And I just have to agree. I mean, for me, like I said at the beginning of this episode, I mean, it remains true, is just that the past arc was some of the best Bleach that I've read up until this point. In rereading it, it was my favorite, chunk of chapters or arc or mini arc or whatever. And I also really did like this chunk of fights as well, for all the reasons I stated at the beginning of the episode and throughout the episode, and just how we're getting to learn what all of these other companies represent, but also to get those character moments and to further the narrative, like I said, through fights, like them not just being fights with multiple power-ups. I mean, it's really like I said in the beginning, like I just feel like that was what a lot of Huecamundo, when they were in Huecamundo, especially with that last fight, with Kenpachi and the other Espada, it was, and even the Scientist, which had really cool like hype moments, but I don't think that like the moments were hype and they were cool, but it didn't really like push anything forward. Like we're getting development from Ikaku, we're getting consequences. We're getting to see him have to deal with not doing something, not realizing mid-battle that, when you think he's lost, that he has to do it and does it and wins. No, like not doing it at all and losing and jeopardizing this mission and having to have someone else come in and do what he couldn't out of pride. This speaks to his overall character. So this is what I'm saying. Like we're getting in these fights, I feel like some of the best character moments that we've ever gotten amongst the fighting. And so I really liked it for all of that. And I'm excited to see what happens moving forward because of those things. And this is what I love about Bleach. Like this is what I really love about it. Because it's not just hype moments. It's arcs like the past arc. Because Kubo can tell such a beautifully told story that spans hundreds of years with lore and relationships and reveals, and like he is a really good storyteller. And I just feel like there are times throughout where I wish I could have more of that, but it's also not to take away from what I know Bleach to be, which is, you know, what it is. This is its formula, and I love it for that, which again echoes what I was saying in the beginning about how I feel in terms of it being an anime, and how sometimes I feel like a lot of these fights lend themselves to be animated. I really did though, like, have a blast like reading this chunk, and I know that the next 84 chapters or 83 chapters that we're splitting up into 2 videos is going to be the conclusion of this, and who knows how it concludes, but
you should.
I mostly remember. But I'm excited. Like, I'm so excited, and I'm really excited for the conclusion, for everything that everybody's going to have to deal with at the end of all of this, and especially after. Like, that's what I'm really excited about. Yeah. So, I mean, and we only have 3 episodes. After this episode, we only have 3 episodes left. The 2 that were the 2-parter, and then 1 more after that. And then hopefully we've timed it correctly, that then the 1,000-Year Blood War arc anime will be coming out around that time. When we release that final Dunkai episode, the anime should be premiering that week or around there. Roughly. I mean, give or take, maybe a week. But in terms of like continuing to read after that point, like we might like watch an episode and then just read the chapters. That would be, I think, instead of doing like anime reactions and a 1,000-Year Blood War arc reaction, we might watch that episode and then read the chapters that episode covers, and that way we'll, I think, maybe have we'll have more to talk about, and we can maybe then compare, you know, some of the differences between the two, or see how the anime translated what we've read in the manga. That way we're only having to read a few chapters at a time, instead of having to do these big arc discussions. Because and the only reason I say that, and this is where I'll end it, sorry for rambling, but because I do think that Bleach just lends itself so much more to animation, and what they're putting into this 1,000-Year Blood War arc, mark my words, is going to be fucking amazing, with the music, with the way that even in that Kubo interview, which if you haven't seen it, go check it out, where Kubo talks about being so involved in not only the extended scenes, but the color palettes and the color designs, the mood, the lighting, all of it. Like, I want to experience it. Like, I mean, it's almost that, like, I want to watch the episode and I want Mehgan to watch the episode first and then go back and read the chapters, because I want to get that same feeling I felt as a kid when I was watching these episodes, because Ichigo's theme and Bankai, like, you know, hearing all that and, you know, all this shit is like, Bleach just like lends itself to that stuff. And I think elevates it, but that's just me. Stay tuned for the next 3 episodes, and I hope you're excited to go on this 1,000-Year Blood War arc journey with us too, and to finish out Bleach and our Dunkai series strong in these final 3 episodes. But that's going to do it for another Dunkai episode. The past arc and the decisive battle of Katakura arc. Thank you as always for watching and listening. However, we are not done yet. Before we go, we have to shout out and we have to thank our wonderful, beautiful, amazing Patreon and YouTube members. Thank each and every one of you guys from the bottom of our heart for all of your support. Without you, I mean, what we do and how we do it wouldn't be possible. The amount of time it takes to set aside to read what we need to read to prepare for these episodes, like, we just wouldn't have that time. Like, we spend a lot of time reading, and we spend a lot of time taking notes, and if we had
and sitting down and recording,
and sitting down and recording, and if we and editing and everything, if we, you know, if I mean, you guys give us the financial freedom to dedicate the time to that, and if we didn't have you, and if we didn't have that, then we'd have to, you know, support ourselves some other way that would take away from everything we're doing. So the amount of output, like the amount of episodes we're able to put out, like the Dun piece, the Dunkai, the volume 1s, the
every
community
week.
lives, the volume,
like every week.
Yeah.
No, we do not take week breaks.
Yeah, I know.
Every week.
Every week, like we just would not be able to do this stuff without your support. Your support makes this show. Your support is the reason that this show exists at the level and the quality, again, down to the equipment that it does. We couldn't do this show without you. It wouldn't be the same without you. We are eternally grateful from the bottom of our hearts for everything that you have given us, everything that you do, and your generosity, and just supporting us out of the kindness of your heart, and just doing it because, either you want to, or you believe in what we do, or you like what we do, any reason. Like, we just appreciate you so much. And we just want to thank you so much from the bottom of both of our hearts. But if you're not a Patreon member and you would like to become one,
or YouTube member,
thank you, Megan.
You're welcome.
Then all you got to do to become a Patreon member is go to patreon.com/volume1pod. To become a YouTube member, all you got to do is hit join somewhere near the subscribe button on this video or any of our other videos. What that does is give you early access to all of our content and access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra, where we talk about everything anime and manga, and outside of anime and manga, TV shows, movies, anything and everything. We do that about twice a month, and those are exclusive just for Patreon members and YouTube members. Again, if you join the YouTube membership program, you get access to all the emotes and all that you can use in live chats and in the comments. And if you join the Patreon, then you get all those perks a little bit cheaper than you do as a YouTube member, and you get to see your beautiful names scroll by in the video. So they each of them have their own perks, but the perks you get across the board at our lowest tier on both places are early access to everything we do and access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra. So once again, to become a Patreon member, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/volume1pod, and to become a YouTube member, all you got to do is click join on this video somewhere by the subscribe button. Any and all support. Again, if you decide to do that, thank you in advance. It helps us so much. But if you're at a place in your life right now where you cannot support financially, or you just flat out don't want to, there are plenty of other ways that mean just as much to us that Megan will tell you all about now, that you can do for free, by the way, that Megan will tell you all about now.
Yes. If you can't support for whatever reason, no worries. No worries at all. You have free stuff you can do to support us if you would like. You can comment, like, subscribe on any one of our videos, anyone at all, doesn't matter which one. It helps our algorithm out so much, and it acts as a free tip to us in our channel. And it really does help us out. We get a bunch of comments every day about your thoughts or about your views on a series. And we do enjoy the community so much. So if you're just doing it because you want to reach out, or if you want to talk to people in, the community, like, that is something free that you are doing that helps us out a lot, and is, fun for us too. So you can do all that stuff for free, and it helps us out just as much.
Liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, reviews, view duration. Even if you're here watching and listening all the way to the very end, that helps too. Any and all ways you show your support, we appreciate it, and it means the world to us from the bottom of our hearts. But that is going to do it for another episode. The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro that is always the same and never changes, which today, Megan, is turn back the pendulum.
Pendulum? I hardly knew him.
Pendulum, more like pendulette. Am I right?
What's pendulette?
Pendulette's a magician. There's a very famous magician. I mean, you don't even have to like magic to know who Pendulette is. Jesus. Wasn't there another Arankar during this arc that was like, how there was the one Arankar who said Nino all the time? Exactico or Exactico or whatever.
Exactico.
Remember?
Yeah.
But then we just say one word.
Yeah.
Aizen, what was it? Ikaku. Use your bankai. Ikaku, use your bankai. I don't know. I just spitball, and I turn back the pendulum. I already said that one.
You don't like the one I said?
I don't even remember what you said.
I said pendulum. I hardly knew him.
Pendulum. I hardly knew him. You like it so much, Mehgan?
It's just funny. I haven't done one of those in a long time.
Okay. No, let's do it.
Ikaku.
I hardly knew her.
Who knew you wouldn't use your Bankai?
Let's just use I don't hate it. I like it, and it makes you happy. So I want to do that one. I want to do the whichever one you said. Pendulum. I hardly knew him.
Okay.
No, it's actually I'm hamming it up. I actually really do like it.
Damn it. Let's just do this.
All right.
Fuck.
As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time,
Pendulum, I hardly knew him. I thought you were going to say yikes.
Yikes. We just do like
hi,
three Mr.
Josh Michael, you coming in to audition for Pendulum?
I feel like that's a diss.